More than 4 billion people live across this vast continent called Asia, and we are telling their stories. On this edition, to be or not to be? That appears to be the question, at least for some Syrian children living in refugee camps. Monsters of the highway, and visual tributes to all things Pakistan. And female social entrepreneurs in Turkey who create fashionable items from discarded materials. I'm Wang Mengmang, and this is Assignment Asia. Welcome to the program. Located in northern Jordan, the Zaatari Refugee Camp is one of the largest in the world. Housing Syrians escaping from their country's civil war since 2011, the camp has been home to almost 80,000 refugees. Among them are children, many of whom have been uprooted from their homes and denied the chance to attend school. Recently, as Natalie Carney discovered, plays by English playwright William Shakespeare may have played a part in helping some of them deal with their sense of loss and displacement.
قالوا سابقا أعطني مسرحا أعطيك شعبا. فبمجرد ما الإنسان، فما بالك الطفل اللي هو أنقى وأنظف، فتنا عليهم بحالة المسرح، بحالة الأداء، اللعب. هو المسرح لعب.
Shakespeare once wrote, "To be or not to be, that is the question." As refugees of war, many of these children have contemplated this themselves. But today they have a chance to focus their energy on something different. They get to act in a montage of Shakespeare's classic tragedies, King Lear and Hamlet. The plays are about a family's love and loss, and for 12-year-old William, it's helped her deal with the impact of the war back home. For one day, they will leave their refugee camp to travel to Jordan's capital, Amman, and perform in front of a live audience at one of the most historic Roman amphitheaters in the world. Since fleeing Syria, the children now call this place home. The Zaatari Refugee Camp was opened by the Jordanian government in 2012 to house those who escaped the war. Its population is said to be anywhere between 120 to 150,000. It's the world's second largest refugee camp. As the war rages on in Syria, refugees have developed a functioning community here. Neighborhoods have been established with people buying and selling everyday items from makeshift shops. William and 9 of her family members fled their hometown of Dara in early 2013. Back in Syria, she attended school regularly. Here in Zaatari, she hasn't set foot in a classroom.
احنا من يوم كنا نروح على القرية بالمدرسة بحبها كثير وهون حاب إني أروح بس الأب مش يعني ما هوش حاس إنه إحنا هو حاب إنه نقرأ.
William's father feels the school is too far away for her and her siblings and does not agree with the curriculum. So she spends her days doing housework and playing with her family and friends. A life she finds boring and routine.
إحنا قبل ما نعمل العرض كنا قاعدين وما عليناش إشي بس إجوا علينا وقالوا في مسرحية وبروفات وإحنا ما كان عندنا شغل كثير.
William was cast to play Cordelia, King Lear's youngest and most beloved daughter, while her cousin Majid, whom she met for the first time in the Zaatari camp, won the starring role as King Lear. 14-year-old Majid and his family also come from Dara. Unlike William, though, Majid goes to school in the camp. He has to balance his schoolwork with rehearsals.
داومنا أول جمعة بروفات بدون مدرسة. كنا نأخذ الأوقات من 9 الصبح لل4 المساء. كنا ننبسط كثير.
There are only a few schools in Zaatari, but they are not much more than a place for parents to send their children during the day. There is no curriculum, and many teachers are said to be poorly trained. Most of the students have fallen a couple of years behind because of the war.
عدد الصف يكون كبير في الغالب. عدد الصف يتجاوز من 80 إلى 100 شخص تقريبا. طالب من ما طالب. بعض التجهيزات في المدرسة غير مؤهلة، عدم وجود كهرباء في المدرسة مثلا، في الغالب هاي الأشياء.
All this will have a significant impact on the country's future, according to aid organizations.
بدها تأثر، يعني هي فعليا رح تأثر عليهم نفسيا، تأثر عليهم. هذا الجيل رح يطلع جيل غاضب، جيل حاقد، جيل عنده كره للي حواليه، كره للناس اللي ظلموه، لأنه فعليا ما شفنا مين يوقف وقفة مشرفة مع هؤلاء الأطفال.
Which is why this play is so important. Beyond just relieving the kids of their boredom, it's hoped the play will restore the children's minds with excitement for the future.
ايش سوري؟ انتمي لهذه الثوره اني بعد هؤلاء الاطفال، اطفالنا اليوم صار لهم 3 سنين بلا مدارس، انا مهمتي اني رجع هؤلاء الاطفال، حط براسهم، رجع لهم المسرح، رجع لهم الموسيقى، رجع لهم الضحكه، رجع لهم العلم، فهم.
After 6 months of rehearsals and organizing all the documents needed to travel to Amman, the big day has finally arrived.
هلا امبارح هلا عم يحكوا لي اهالي الاطفال اللي اجوا مع الاطفال انه امبارح كل الليل مو نايمين، الاطفال ما ناموا من فرحتهم انه هذا اليوم بالنسبه لهم يوم عيد. محبوسين بالمخيم، ما طلعوا برات المخيم ولا متر لبرا.
The smiles on these children's faces are contagious. Rarely do they get to leave the camp. For some of them, this is the first outing for them in over 2 years. And considering the horrific memories some of them are harboring, this day is very special. It's a day to play make-believe. It's a day to forget the realities they live in and just be kids.
لأنه بأول مرة لأنه مفوت بعمان وشغلات كثيرة تعرفنا عليها وألعاب كثيرة وحلوة كثير، لهيك انبسطنا.
The excitement carried on throughout the afternoon. Excited to be in the Jordanian capital, but with their beloved Syria still very much in their hearts.
الأطفال في مخيم، الناس في مخيم الزعترية يعيشون الثورة 24 ساعة، وبالتالي هذا الطفل بده يسمع من أهاليه، هذا الطفل بشكل أو بآخر عم يسمع من أهله ما يجري من أحداث يومية، القصف والقتل والدمار والدم والذبح إلى آخره. هذا الطفل صار معبأ بهي الأفكار، معبأ بهي المصطلحات، صار في عنده هم آخر اللي هو هم المسرحية، بده يطلع منيح، بده يطلع أحسن من رفيقه، ورفيقه بده يطلع أحسن من رفيقه. في هذا التنافس، هذا التنافس الحلو اللطيف الطفولي عمليا.
Backstage, the kids are filled with nerves and anticipation.
شعوري متحمس ومتوتر لأنه نروح على عمان، انبسطنا من يوم ما قالوا في طلعة على عمان، وبنفس الوقت متوترين شلون بدنا نسوي المسرحية قدام 2000 شخص من الجمهور.
Shakespeare's play Hamlet is a powerful tragedy about murder and revenge. And it's not difficult for these children of war to relate to the subject matter. However, now, through this play, these children are able to use those painful emotions to create an experience of a lifetime.
كان رائع جدا وما كناش متوقعين اللي قاعدين نسويه احنا. كنا مفكرين تنجح نجاح بسيط لأنه كل الطلاب كانوا متلبكين.
أنا حسيت أني ما كانت مش راح تطلع جيدة لأنه الأطفال كانوا أول شيء كانوا متلبكين كثير ومو مبسوطين، بس هسه انبسطوا كثير وحسيت إنه فرحة ونجح المسرح على طول إن شاء الله بنوسع.
مسكي كل الصعوبات، طبعا كان في صعوبات كثير بس بينساها الواحد أمام ضحكة الأطفال، أمام فرح الأطفال.
To be or not to be now holds new meaning of the future for these children. For Assignment Asia, I'm Natalie Carney in Jordan.
For the children, it was their first brush with Shakespeare, although many are said to be deeply acquainted with tragedy. Their theatrical involvement is one where the children are unlikely to forget. Some said it was the first time that anyone had clapped or cheered for them. Next, on Assignment Asia, art inspired by movies, religion, and even politics.
Culture Express. See the world in color.
If you've spent time in Pakistan, you would have seen some very colorful trucks rumbling down along its roads and highways. Such a form of art is more than just cultural expression. It's also a deeply rooted tradition. As Danial Khan found out, its origins date back to the 1920s, when trucks imported from England made their presence felt on the streets of Pakistan.
The best thing and the unique thing about the truck art is it's natural. They come from the people who actually do it and what they feel and what they want to put across and the kind of messages. And they see things, they will actually grasp them. They understand the meaning behind them. They will do it with a meaning.
The swirls, motifs, and patterns, intricate paintings of animals, flowers, and people. Art inspired by movies, religion, and yes, even politics. Monsters of the highway that are visual tributes to all things Pakistan. Driver Sadiq Baloch has just given final touches to his truck in Lahore.
We try our best to make our truck better than the other trucker. We often find ourselves comparing our trucks to each other's. Everyone wants their truck to be the best.
On his truck, Baloch proudly displays this blown-up picture of Mahmud Khan Achakzai, a prominent political figure from his home province of Balochistan.
We decorate our trucks for the same reason people wear good clothes, buy new shoes, and eat good food. They enjoy it. We enjoy decorating our trucks.
The result, a chorus of colors on an otherwise monotonous highway. A tradition with roots believed to date back more than 90 years. In the 1920s, craftsmen made horse-drawn carriages for nobility. Finely carved and painted, the artists from eastern Punjab who worked on them were themselves descendants of those who decorated many great palaces and temples during the Mughal Empire. When it comes to modern-day truck art, their basic rule is the flashier, the better. Many truck owners come up with their own designs using metal, tinsel, plastic, and reflective tape to build upon the basic wood, and paint. And this man, Haji Habibur Rahman, is one of the best known and respected truck artists in Pakistan.
This specific type of art began in 1952, and I became a student of truck art in 1955.
Haji Habib is 76 now, but he's loved art for as long as he can remember. Today, Haji Habib is an ustad or teacher, sharing his techniques with the next generation. At the yard where he works, truck owners and drivers watch Haji Habib's every move.
हम ट्रकों के पीछे मुख्तलिफ लैंड्स के पेंटिंग्स देखते हैं, पॉलिटिशियंस की तस्वीरें देखते हैं, तो एक ट्रक आर्टिस्ट के जहन में क्या चल रहा होता है कि वो इस किस्म की चीज़ें बनाता है? वो खुद अपनी तरफ से बनाता है या ट्रक जो ओनर होते हैं वो उसको कहते हैं?
वो ये होता है कि पहले तो जहन उसका खाली होता है.
Whenever a truck artist begins work on a truck, he has no idea what to do or where to begin. But when his brush makes the first stroke, then ideas begin flowing in his mind, and then he doesn't stop. Whether it's a scenery or a picture. It is not a painter's choice to make pictures of politicians, it is the owner's wish. Sometimes they ask to make pictures of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, and we then realize they have an inclination towards the Pakistan People's Party. But then some ask us to make pictures of former military ruler General Pervez Musharraf. But it is never our call. We do what we are asked to do.
But painting a truck isn't a one-day job. It takes about 2 months and requires a whole team to prepare the truck before the artist goes to work. And it can be quite expensive.
It all depends on how much an owner is willing to spend on his truck. The minimum amount that we charge just to write poetry and make a few flowers is 10,000 rupees. Then, if he wants to further beautify it, we charge around 60 or 70,000 rupees.
The most detailed truck art can cost as much as 2 million rupees or more than $19,000. Sadiq Balod says the money and care that go into his truck is far beyond measure.
Our trucks are our only source of livelihood, and they feed our children and will remain with us for generations. After every trip, we get a little something done to the truck, which adds to its beauty. I've spent almost 180,000 rupees on decorating my truck so far.
That's $18,000. Truck art, seen all over Pakistan and different regions of the country, have their own distinct techniques.
This is Lahore's biggest truck producing market. Here they are fixed, painted and loaded with goods before they make their journey all across Pakistan.
Salman Pirzada, a renowned art critic, says it's much more than just an art form.
It comes from the grassroots. It comes from the soil. The people who drive trucks, who paint trucks, people who sit on the trucking addas, they're not sophistos. They're not this other lot of book-read artists. Their conversations are very different from the kind of lingo spoken by people, students who go to colleges. They're in a whole different stratosphere. As you know, there's a very big kind of a dividing line in our culture.
Haji Habib hopes the art form will live on for generations to come, whether it's on trucks or trinkets. After all, he says it is a Pakistani original.
No one knows the future, and I can't say what will happen to this art form. But if you look at its evolution, it has come a long way, and I hope it goes a long way.
With dedicated artists like Haji Habibur Rahman and his team, this tradition is finding ways to stay relevant and omnipresent in Pakistani culture. For Assignment Asia, I'm Danial Khan in Lahore, Pakistan.
Apart from its artistic touches, truck owners see the art as a business investment. convinced that potential clients are more likely to hire a truck that's beautifully decorated. Next, on Assignment Asia, environmentally friendly job opportunities for women in Turkey.
Culture Express. See the world in color.
In Turkey, despite the country's modern and rapid development, gender equality is still lagging, especially in rural areas. But according to Mihal Bardavid, a growing number of social organizations are helping Turkish women not only to find jobs, but also to reduce environmental waste in a creative manner.
Bir de içimde böyle bir korku vardı. Acaba başarabilir miyim korkusu. Hiç çalışmamışız ya. Onun bir korkusu herhalde, böyle alışmamışız dışarıda çalışmaya.
5 days a week, Sıdıka comes here to work. She spends her days drawing, cutting, sewing.
Yaptığım işi beğenildi mi çok hoşuma gidiyor. Kendimle gurur duyuyorum.
Seeing Sıdıka at work may not seem so unusual outside Turkey, but here it is.
Turkey is a male-dominated country. Only 1 out of every 4 women take part in the labor force. Despite the touristic facade, Ayvalık is no different. Many of the women here have never been employed.
What we are doing ultimately threatens to wreck the status quo, and that's very scary, particularly in a society where the roles are very set.
Tara Hopkins is an American who's been living in Turkey for over 20 years. Having witnessed Turkey's male-dominated society for so long, she wanted to do something to empower women.
My grandmother was a policewoman. My mother worked. It was never a question that I wouldn't work. It was never a question that I wouldn't go to school. It's not the same here.
So in 2007, Tara came up with an idea for a business that explored ways of creating fashionable products from recycled or throwaway materials, something that was also kind to the environment. The challenge was finding women who wanted to, or more importantly, were not afraid to transform their lives. Tara's first employee was her next-door neighbor, Sıdıka. At 48 years old, Sıdıka never worked before and was enthusiastic about the idea. She became the first so-called garbage lady, but it took some getting used to.
Çok konuşamayan, içine kapanık bir insan gibiydim. Heyecandan mı, korkudan mı bilemiyorum. Bakıyorum arkadaşların hepsine, hiç kimsede ses yok. Ben dedim ki Sıdıka, sen de sesini çıkarma, rezil olma. İlk başladığın işe yani yapamıyorum deme. Şöyle geçeyim ben şimdi. Yapmayız, yapamayız.
In a short amount of time, with patience, support, and cooperation, Tara opened her shop, Çöp Madam, which means garbage ladies in Turkish. The shop has 45 employees and sells about 3,000 bags a year. One of Tara's criteria is to hire women who've never made their own money before.
When I give the woman her first money, I give her the money that she's earned and then kiss her on both cheeks. And inevitably I start to cry. Inevitably she starts to cry. It's a bittersweet moment because you're very proud that you're facilitating this growth in this person, but you're also very sad that this is the first time in her life that she's at this position.
İlk maaşımı almak çok güzel. Haftalık 75 lira. İlk 5 çanta yapıyorduk ilk seneler. 5 çantada bir paramızı alıyorduk haftada bir gün. 75 lira almıştım. O paranın heyecanını, sevincini inan hiçbir şeyler tarif edemez. Yani öyle bir özgüven de geldi yani hepimize kadın olarak. Biraz da çatışmada olmadı değil ama yaptık yani. Bu 6 seneyi doldurduk. Bir kızımı okuttum. üniversitede. Elimden geldiği kadar faydam oldu ona. Eşimin gönderemediği yerde ben gönderdim.
Though Turkey is a modern, civilized country, it still has a long way to go when it comes to gender equity. In the World Economic Forum's 2014 Global Gender Gap Report, the country ranked near the bottom, 125th out of 142. The problem lies not in the availability of jobs for females, but in the mentality of the Turkish culture, the belief that the woman's role is inside the home. Businesses like Çöp Madam and a growing number of NGOs that help women get jobs in Turkey create the potential for social change. And even though some may see it as a threat, it's creating a new kind of empowerment.
Söylüyorum zaten. Hiç korkmayın. Onlara destek veriyorum. Hiç korkmayın. Ben de sizin gibi böyle ilk başladığım zaman korktum, ettim. Bazen buradaki arkadaşlarımız bizden ayrılıp işe girdiler. Çok arkadaşımız var işe girdi.
Support from fellow women is one thing, but a husband's attitude regarding his wife's actions carries great significance. For Sıdıka, she's one of the lucky ones. Halil is Sıdıka's husband, father of the 2 kids and a retired house painter.
Eşim mesela diyorum hadi ben çalışmıyorum. Eşim çalışıyor. O yorgundur. En azından bir çayını koyayım, bir peynirini hazırlayayım, kahvaltısını hazırlayayım. Kalkarız beraber kahvaltımızı ederiz. O işine gider. Ben evde biraz işlerim. Ben de tekneme giderim. Hatta bayanlar kocasını bekler ya, eşini bekler. Ben bu sefer kendi bayanı bekliyorum. Yani, tabii ki onu saygı duyduğum için. Şimdi yıllarca o bana yaptı. Ben işe çalışırken. Yıllarca o bana yaptı. Bir anda bunu düşünerek yıllarca o bana hizmet etti. Ben niye etmeyeyim diye düşündüm.
Not all husbands are as understanding.
In many rural areas in Turkey, a working woman is still a new and often unacceptable concept. For some of the women here in Çöp Madam, coming to work meant standing their ground and defying their husband.
Nigar has worked for Çöp Madam since 2008. For her, she showed her own bit of independence even before she started working.
Eve geldim, eşime dedim böyle böyle. Kime sordun dedi. Hiç kimseye sormadım. Kendim gittim. Kendi başıma dedim gittim. Çalışacaksın, çalışmayacaksın. Ben dedim çalışacağım. Ne yaparsan yap. Yani istersen dedim yani yataklara kadar ayırabilirsin. Benim için hiç önemli değil. Biz 15 gün iyi kötü bir kavgalar yaptık. İlk baktık ki hakkımdan da gelemedi. Açıkçası doğruya doğru. Yani biraz baskın gelince oturdu.
Nigar believes what is starting now will certainly be passed on to the next generation.
Ve kız çocuklarını muhakkak okutmak gerekiyor. Okutacaksın ki bilinçli bireyler yetişsin. Dileğim onların başarılı birer anne olmaları ileride. Çalışan bir anne. Evlendiklerinde çalışan bir anne olsunlar. Kocaların eline bakmasınlar, ezilmesinler. Artık yeter.
With a gradual shift in perspectives, the number of females in the workforce in Turkey could increase, but it will certainly be a slow process. Tara's hope is that in time, more and more women will answer their phone during the day and say, "I'm at work." For Assignment Asia, I'm Michal Bardavit in Ayvalık, Turkey.
Apart from empowering women, the project saves at least 3 tons of waste materials from being dumped in landfills each year. That's all the time we have for this week. I'm Wang Mengmang in Beijing. Thanks for watching and join us again on Assignment Asia. Share your thoughts and contribute story ideas for future shows by contacting us on social media.